I just wanted to do a quick little video on my philosophy for doing cue points. Everybody does their cue points differently. And well, I wanted to talk about the way I do my cue points, just in case this might help anybody out there out. If you guys are kind of confused on how to do your cue points, or like, oh my God, I don't know what cue points are. Like, how do I set them? This video is going to be for you and just kind of how I set my cue points. So we don't have a lot to go off of here. So we don't have a lot of tracks to do here too, but a lot of these you'll notice they look like they're duplicated, but they're really not. If you look over here toward the end, we have a clean and a dirty version. We have intro clean, intro dirty, clean dirty, clean dirty, clean dirty, clean dirty, clean dirty, clean dirty. And the reason I do that, which I'll probably talk about in a separate video, but the reason I always download the clean and the dirty versions of songs is because there are some venues I play at where they want the full song, the explicit version, you know, the original. And then I have other venues that they want clean music, or maybe it's a wedding, right? And we have a family or something and they want a clean version of a song. Well, I have both versions available at my disposal, so I never have to worry about anything like that. So I'm not really sure how Serato works. Obviously, I use Virtual DJ, and the beauty of Virtual DJ is that I can work on my music library here at home on my desktop, which I'm doing, and then I can take this hard drive, plug it into my MacBook that I actually DJ on, and all my files and all their attributes are pretty much the same thing, because I'm not dealing with crates, even though I probably should. I don't use crates, I use folders. So all my folders are favorited on Windows because the directory in the file system of the hard drive is configured for macOS, and macOS uses a different file structure. So I do have to kind of use a workaround here if I want to mess with my files in Windows, but it's really not usually a big deal. These songs, I don't know how well you're able to tell, but they're from Club Killers. They have some cue points in here already, which I like. We have one on the 1 and one on the 16. So I'll go ahead and rename those. And if you want to rename your cue points in Virtual DJ, just right click on them. And then another thing too, mainly when I'm working on the left side, I usually like to work on the left side. Just that's kind of just how my brain works. When I'm over here on the left side, I have my hotkeys over here. And then usually this is on stems, but I go into the drop down and I change it to beat jumps. So that way I can skip ahead and stay in time. Now that the first version is done, the clean one, I'm basically going to mirror the cue points across the two. So let's say I have, spoiler alert, my camera's on. So let's say I do have a clean version and a dirty version of a song. Whatever version I load up first, I will put the cue points in where I want them. And then if I have a dirty version, I will put it in the other side, so they're side by side, and then I will mirror the two cue points. Because let's say I play a dirty song at like a club or something, and that song did really well, and I have a wedding coming up next week, and I want to play that song, and I know it's going to hit. I have to make sure my cue points are in the same spot, or I'm going to misfire the track, or I'm not going to line it up exactly, or I do a lot of like stemming transitions. So if I fire the song in the wrong spot, and I'm not ready for it, it's going to sound bad, and it's going to sound like I don't know what I'm doing. So that's why I always mirror them for clean and dirty versions. We're going to go ahead and go to 16. These are already the same because I showed you guys that one. So we're going to go back to 16. Words is on 19.1. And that's another reason I like using Virtual DJ, is because I can do everything I need to do with my mouse and keyboard. I don't have to have a controller connected or none of that funny business. Okay, of course, words is 28.8, so we're going to scroll to 28.8. And again, if you'll notice here too, we have colored waveforms. And if you understand colored waveforms, that really will help you kind of line them up even better. And then we have 29.1. So it's, again, that falls right there. And even if they're not like exact, they're close enough that it's really not a big deal. That's for that one. Let's find one that doesn't have any yet. Oh, well, this one has all 8. Okay, so let's do this track now, because this track doesn't have any except for the one. So again, this is a hype edit. That means it's some form of extended edit. So we're gonna go ahead and count 16, place a cue point there. Yep, we're still in the intro, so that's good. We can count again and see if we're skipping any words. And it doesn't sound like we are, so we'll go ahead and drop the third one there. And then I'll label these accordingly. So we have beat 1, we have beat 16, and then we have... I like to abbreviate things because there's only so many characters that fit up here, so I'll do VB for verse beat. And then I need to find the chorus. I'll do verse beat, except this isn't technically, because again, it's a hype edit, so this is... we have some underlying words going on here. That's obviously not Sexy Red. So we're going to skip ahead 16 more. And we're still looping. So we'll do VB2 pre. And then we'll skip ahead another 16. And it sounds like we're cutting off some words, so we'll go back a little bit. Okay, so those words aren't actually important. That's just her tag. So I will go back to 4 to get back on the beat and then skip ahead again. And we can go ahead and set this to start here. And then we'll do VB real. So that way I know, like, hey, this is when it really starts. Again, everybody, I know I'm probably going to get some judgment in this in the comments, and that's fine. But everybody names their cue points in their own way. This is just a video on how I like to do my cue points. Everybody does their cue points differently. This is just how I do mine. We're going to find the chorus, unless this is a chorus. So I've just scrubbed through the song, and it turns out this 5th marker we've made actually corresponds to the chorus. So that's good. Because for a lot of songs like these, especially at a high energy venue where you're doing a lot of quick mixing and power mixing, as they call it, you want to make sure that you are playing the important parts and not playing the parts nobody cares about. So if I drop this at a club, this is the part of the song people are going to want to sing. So that's fine. That's good. It sets me up for a good transition in, and it sets me up for a good transition out. So now that we're done with this song, we're going to come over here to the other side and mirror our cue points. All right. I hope this gave you guys a little bit of insight on how I do my cue points. Again, like I said, everybody does their cue points in their own manner. This is just how I like to do my cue points. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead, give that video a like. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more updates, gig logs, reviews, stuff like that. And I will see you guys in the next video.